800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
If you have to deal with pain that causes you to struggle climbing stairs, can't kneel down, or even raise your arms, that means you don't play with the kids, golf with the guys, or get through a workday without exhausting pain. Hey, it's Mike Evans, and I'm here to celebrate what you can do. And that's exactly what QC Kinetics patients are doing. Not bracing for the next jolt of pain. It's gone. They've moved on, back to living their lives. You've heard me talk about the team at QC Kinetics, and so many of you have been through their game-changing regenerative treatments. Done right in the office. No missing work, no surgery, no long recovery. The inflammation calms down, the pain backs off. And they love hearing from you, how we here at The Fan help you dig out from under that long list of can'ts and get back to living your best life. So go find out what you can do. It's a good life out there, folks. Go live it to the fullest. Let's get rid of that pain starting now. The consultation's totally free to see if you're a good candidate. Call 303-900-8986, 303-900-8986, with locations in Aurora, Superior, Highlands Ranch, and the Springs. It's QC Kinetics.
AutoNation's July 4th sale means savings worth celebrating. Right now, drive new and used cars with zero down. Plus, make zero payments for 90 days. Thousands of vehicles, thousands in savings. Put zero down. Make zero payments till fall on all your favorite new vehicles. Don't miss out. Save now through July 4th weekend only. Hurry to your nearest AutoNation. Less stress, more go. 90 days to first payment on approved credit. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See store for details. Expires 7/5/26.
In Colorado, relationships matter. That's why contractors across the Front Range choose Western Pacific for doors and millwork. 35 years of quality products, next-day delivery, and fast will call service. Visit GoWestPack.com. Western Pacific, local ownership, professional expertise.
I'm Rob Wilhite. For almost 50 years, Colorado has trusted the Wilhite Law Firm after serious car accidents. With over $1 billion recovered, we know how to win for our community. Injured? Call 303-GOOD-LAW or visit WilhiteWins.com. That's WilhiteWins.com.
Any jewelry store can sell you a diamond.
But there's only one family jeweler in Colorado that was literally built on them.
In fact, we've sold more diamonds to more couples for more years than any other jeweler in Denver. I'm Steve Williams.
I'm Dylan.
And I'm Shayna Williams. That's why we built Williams Jewelers of Inglewood, an entire store totally dedicated to celebrating your love.
All the world's top bridal designers, 10 times of certified loose diamonds.
And Denver's true diamond experts, like me, who will share their knowledge and passion and how to get the most diamond for your money, guaranteed.
So whether you're looking for the perfect diamond engagement ring,
or that second diamond celebrating a love of many years,
we have the perfect diamond for you.
That's why every day, more couples say will you with Williams.
Where Colorado shines.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
Need better rest? Let Mattress Firm sleep experts match you with the perfect bed at the July 4th sale. They make sleep easy.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. Powered by Regen RX. It's The Drive with Zach By and Philip Lindsay. Welcome to Denver Sports Tonight, taking a look at the biggest stories in Denver sports. From your online home for the best opinions and information on the Broncos, Nuggets, Avalanche, Rockies, and more. DenverSports.com.
It is Denver Sports Tonight right here on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Hope everyone is doing well out there in and around the Mile High City. Anila Puro back in the saddle alongside with my guy Dante Gomez, taking you home here on this Thursday, June the 25th. Keeping tabs on the World Cup, keeping tabs in the world of Denver sports. We'll mix in a little Colorado Avalanche tonight, of course, with the big news involving the trade of Val Nichushkin. We'll start there. We'll also touch on the Denver Nuggets and maybe open it up a little bit to the big-time trades that have gone down in the NBA, of course, involving LaMelo Ball to the Minnesota Timberwolves, along with Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Miami Heat. Two seismic moves for a couple of different reasons, so we'll break that down for you here on the program tonight. If you guys want to get involved, the number to text, as always, is 303-713-1043. That is the RamosLaw.com text line. What's up, Dante? Happy Thursday, bro.
AP, how you doing, man? Happy Thursday. What a sentence.
I'm a big Thursday guy.
Oh, really? You wish other people happy Thursdays?
No, it's,
just having fun.
Spirit of the show.
Okay, I like it. I like it. But no, I'm good, dude. It's a little humid, a little gross out there. I went on my run this morning. I think this is what I was seeing. I think I was seeing the water evaporating in real time off the pavement because it was so hot out, but it was still wet on the ground. So that was a little gross, but doing good. How about yourself?
Dude, I'm not going to lie. Did you get hit by the storms last night?
A little bit, yeah. We got a little thunder and some rain.
So I'm in the process. I actually just finished moving out of my apartment today. So I've been kind of splitting time between I'm mainly staying with my girlfriend. I've crashed at my parents' house a couple of nights, kind of splitting time as I work through this apartment situation. I am 90% sure my girlfriend's apartment building got struck by lightning last night.
Really?
It was like the biggest boom, pow, wow. It woke me up. I had like sleep paralysis from it because I was like dozing off, like reading stuff on my phone, and I'm like, okay, it's time to go to bed. It was raining pretty hard out, and then it's like, like when you're about to fall asleep and something wakes you up and you kind of get maybe like a little stuck. Like that's what happened to me last night, and it was like this massive thumping lightning that I've never felt before in my life. So that was fun.
Interesting.
It came down last night up north. It was
Maybe
crazy.
you were feeling one of those earthquakes that was happening in Venezuela or Alaska, or I forgot where. There was like 3 yesterday. It was crazy. Drew was telling me all about it.
He's on earthquake watch.
Yeah. I actually asked him, I was like, does earthquakes fall under like weather? Like, do people that are weather fanatics also follow earthquakes? And he said yes. So it makes sense that he's kind of in that realm there.
No, you're right though. It's muggy. It's kind of gross. I'm actually going to Florida this weekend, so maybe it's a little preview
a little
for me.
preview for you.
Well,
Yeah,
getting built up to the humidity. But yeah, no. So thunderstorms last night were crazy. I'm furiously refreshing Twitter for Chris Bianchi's updates about the thunder and the lightning and the hail and all that kind of stuff. But all right, let's get into some sports talk. I promise it's a sports show here on 104.3 The Fan. But the Val Nichushkin news, right? I talked about it at the end of the drive with Zach and Phil. And obviously, I don't think it was surprising. Like, I remember having these conversations with Drew Spivak leading up to, it was right after the NHL season, or not even the NHL season, right after the Avalanche got swept in 4 games against the Vegas Golden Knights in the Western Conference Final. And the question was, like, who are they going to dump? Like, are they going to dump anyone? I think the natural answer was they would dump somebody, right? But the fact that they've now essentially dumped Nichushkin, I want to go big picture here because it's Nichushkin, Drury, and Ross Colton. Because I remember having these conversations with Drew about, like, do you go with Colton or do you go with Nichushkin? The fact that it's both of those guys that have been dumped on top of Val Nichushkin today is interesting. And I think we'll get into kind of the Nichushkin sentiment here about what he means to the organization in just a moment. But you know what this tells me, Dante, is I know there was speculation about it on the station. I know there was people amongst As Faithful that were calling for Bednar's head. I know you and I had a pretty spirited conversation about the future of Jared Bednar. But in my opinion, and at least from what we've been able to gather, it seems like the organization themselves, and that's Joe Sakic and Josh Kroenke in particular, never balked at the idea of firing Jared Bednar. Like, maybe it was talked about and discussed in passing because naturally you have to talk about it after another failure like you had in the Western Conference, but I don't think they deliberated too much about the future of Joe Sakic. The amount of moves they've made in the last week or so, Drury, Colton, and now Nichushkin, confirms, in my opinion, their belief in Jared Bednar for at least one more season, but also the need to tear it down around that core.
Yeah, they're absolutely going in. Didn't fire the coach, didn't make us change there, so they're going to make changes to the roster, and that's what we've been seeing so far. I'm excited to see what the coinciding moves come from this, because as of now, we got more of the salary dump, which opens up the cap space, obviously, but I'm excited to see how they end up using that cap space that they opened up here. So they're running it back, but not quite with the same roster and the same, I'm assuming the core will be mostly the same. I think you could call Val part of that core, but in the last couple of years here, his production has really fell off there. So I think it was a good move all around. I think it was a win for the Avalanche, moving off of him, moving off his contract, being able to open that money and maybe use it for something or somebody that'll be a little bit more productive.
Yeah, you can call him a part of the core, but he was never part of the inner circle, right? Like, the inner circle to me is 3 players. It's Landeskog, McKinnon, and Makar. Like, those are 3 unmovable, untouchable players, right? And Joe Sakic came out and said, what was that now, 2 weeks ago, I want to say, in his press conference about end of season and all that, that, Kale's going to retire here. He's going to finish his career as a member of the Avalanche. Like, those are the three players that will be Avs for life, barring anything crazy, or if they go off and play elsewhere, like towards the very, very tail end of their career after they're well past their prime. But point being, everybody else is expendable, right? And so, again, not a surprising move. I think we were all kind of like, it felt like Nichushkin was the most obvious guy that would be moved, even more so than Colton and Drury, just because of the money that he was making, right? And the fact that I also think it's fascinating that they've done 2 deals now, obviously not with Nichushkin, but 2 deals with Chris McFarland in Nashville. Like, clearly Chris McFarland got to Nashville and said, okay, I need a couple of players that do this and do that. Why don't I go call up my old team, and sling them some draft capital that they desperately need. But the fact of the matter here is the Avalanche have now cleared a significant amount of cap space, and ultimately, I don't think they're going to hold on to a lot of these draft picks. I understand they do need to get younger, so I'm sure they'll draft a handful of different guys, and I'm not as familiar with the depths of the NHL draft as maybe some people are. But you would also think when you clear this much cap space, maybe there's a bigger move that's trying to be lined up by Colorado.
Like, bigger move in terms of like a star player kind of, or adding depth to the team?
I think it's hard to say star player, but never say never. We just saw Kachuk get moved, right? But it's like, who's going to be attainable for the Avalanche in that price range?
I know Dylan Larkin is asking out in Detroit. I don't think he's been traded yet, has he?
But here's the other thing, and our guy Jake Shapiro brought it up to me, and I believe he wrote about it for DenverSports.com, or at least mentioned it. Like, I think part of the motivation for clearing this cap space is knowing the money that Cale Makar is about to get. Right? So, like, I think it's more depth than anything, but I would never rule it. Like the Avalanche have made big move after big move. Like, you think about Mikko Rantanen, obviously bringing in Marty Necas in exchange for that, among some other things. I think they'd like to, re-sign some of the guys that they currently have, like Brett Kulak, for example. But I think they're just trying to position, like, what was the buzzword in the Nuggets end of season press conference? Flexibility, right? I think the Avalanche are trying to provide themselves with as much flexibility as possible moving forward into this NHL offseason. I don't hate any of the 3 trades they've made.
No, I don't either. And to be honest, I was a little surprised at how easy they were able to move off of Val Nichushkin. I didn't think that he was going to be a player that was in demand. Apparently he is, but with the drop off in production, the amount of money that he's making, it doesn't really make sense for the Avalanche to have him anymore, and it doesn't really make sense for any team to want him like that. So I was surprised at how easy it was to move off of him. I don't know if you're in the same boat as far as that goes.
I mean, I thought they got a decent return knowing that this guy's one more mishap away from never playing in the NHL again, right? Like, that's also something to consider. It's not just the decline, which is obviously apparent for Val Nichushkin, but also what happens if he, again, slips down the slope one more time. I mean, you're talking about a guy that will essentially be exiled, excommunicated from the NHL. So, and I was a little surprised, like, going back and forth there with ZB at the end of the show. Like, look, the Seattle stuff is a massive black eye. It's a massive stain on Val Nichushkin's resume, not just with the Avalanche, but his entire NHL career. Right? And outside of being drafted where he was drafted, like, you're going to know Val Nichushkin unless he does incredible things with the Columbus Blue Jackets. You're going to look at him as a member of, like, when you think Val Nichushkin, you're playing Immaculate Grid, right? Hockey version. You're probably going to go Nichushkin Avalanche, right? But I still think, and recency bias certainly plays into this, I think the general sentiment about Val Nichushkin when it's all said and done will be that was a formative member of this Avalanche core that helped them get their 3rd Stanley Cup title in franchise history. Like, I think people will remember what happens in Seattle, but I don't think that'll define his tenure.
I don't think so either. I think he will get that standing ovation when Columbus comes back here. I know Zach said that it was going to be in between the boo birds and in between that standing ovation. I don't agree with that at all. I think it will be closer to that, fans standing up, giving him a loud round of applause. They're going to have the tribute video up on the Jumbotron. I think he's going to be remembered pretty well here. Obviously, there were some troubles off the ice, and as we've mentioned, on the ice in the last year or two here too. But I don't think there's any ill will with Val in this organization, so I expect him to be applauded when he comes back to Denver, especially for what he was able to do for that 22 team. I mean, he was arguably the best player, or played the best, I guess, on that 22 team. So his contributions to this organization, to me, at least outweigh the negatives of the addiction problems he was dealing with.
Yeah, and I try to separate the two because the addiction problems are an off-ice issue, right? Like, it's not like Like they're two separate.
It becomes
things.
an on-ice issue when
It
he's not
does.
available.
Correct.
But he has been available the last, 2+ years now?
Right. And here's the comparison I'll make, and maybe it's a little premature if I can kind of go cross-sport here for just a moment. Aaron Gordon's been kind of fading for this Denver Nuggets team. And that's an injury situation, not a substance abuse issue as we've seen with Val Nichushkin. But, let's just say for conversation's sake, Aaron Gordon can only play, half the games moving forward and is banged up for the playoffs and can't make a contribution. Let's just say Aaron Gordon is with the Nuggets for another 2 to 3 years.
Are you using that as a hypothetical? I feel like that's what we've just seen last year.
I don't think it's been a long enough runway to guarantee that. It's not going to surprise me if that happens. I don't want it to happen, but I think there's still some potential for Aaron Gordon to get healthy and get right. But let's say for the next 2 to 3 years, Gordon plays half the games in the regular season, is a non-factor in the playoffs because of his injuries. When Aaron Gordon up and retires, are we going to think of those times with Aaron Gordon and his inability to show up and show out in the playoffs like he did in the championship season? Or are we going to think of Mr. Nugget roaming the streets of Denver after they won the title?
Absolutely, it's the latter. You're going to remember the good times. You're going to remember the heart and soul that he brought to this team, the effort that he played with when he was available to play. So I think the same thing with Val, too. I think, obviously, the other part is always going to be a part of his history here in Denver. But it's hard to, one, fault the guy when you're dealing with addiction issues, and two, it's hard to just label him as some screw up that cost the Avalanche when he was, again, a major reason why the Avalanche were able to win a cup in the first place. So I think, along with Aaron Gordon, I think they'll be remembered for the good times they had here.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I just can't think of another comparison. Ty Lawson had substance abuse issues, but Ty Lawson never won anything with the Denver Nuggets, right? But Ty Lawson was a very fun player for a long time. Here's an interesting point that our guy JD makes on the text line. Feel free to get involved here, 303-713-1043. Do you agree with this, Dante? Nichushkin will be remembered far more fondly than Mikko Rantanen will be.
Ooh, that's a fun one.
That is a fun one.
I think so, just because we've seen Mikko on the other side in that playoff series a year ago with Dallas, and he was able to burn the Avalanche with that trade. So I think that, I would say yes, that Val will be remembered greater than Mikko's time here.
And let's look at it this way, because I agree with you. What resulted in Mikko's departure, like people remember Mikko obviously helping them win that Stanley Cup, but it's how he went about leaving Colorado. And when you think of Val's issues off the ice, that's a life thing, right? But with the Mikko thing, it's a lot more personal to the fan.
Well, he also didn't want to sign that extension.
Correct. And his agents and all that kind of stuff were playing hardball and this and that, and McFarland said enough's enough, right? Like with Val, what he was dealing with off the ice is not as relatable to the common fan, right? I'll put it that way. It's a life thing. It is what it is. I'm sure we've all had friends and family that have gone through similar stuff, and it's you just got to let them do their thing and be a support system and all that kind of stuff, right? But Mikko felt personal, right? And I understand Val Nichushkin, maybe some fans took it personal because he's letting the team down, and the team is, your life, and you root for them, ride or die, all that kind of stuff. But Mikko getting out the way he did was really personal. And so I think when you look at Mikko Rantanen, you'll still always have that bad taste in your mouth. It'll almost be oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the order in which this happened, but I remember watching the 30 for 30. Did Horace Grant, I want to say, left the Bulls to go to the Magic? And I remember, I think that was in between, right before Rodman came, this is before my time, but I remember watching the 30 for 30. Or even, you know what maybe the comparison is, in a certain extent, is kind of like Carmelo Anthony. And I don't think Mikko Rantanen was ever as good as Carmelo was for the Nuggets, but that same kind of, when you think back on Carmelo Anthony, great player for the organization, all-time great, but you have this bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comparison. But, to me, the Mikko thing comes down to he kind of opted not to be here. He had the extension in front of him, and he didn't want to sign it. He didn't think that the money was worth his time to re-sign here in Denver. So obviously Colorado has to make a hard decision, and that decision was to trade him out to Carolina. He obviously gets traded again in the next couple of weeks there over to Dallas there. But to me, it was Mikko's decision not to be here. Val leaving, it's not Val's decision not to be here.
Correct.
He was traded by the organization, so it's hard to be mad at him for no longer being a member of the Colorado Avalanche.
And the, quote, negativity, the gray cloud that surrounds both of these guys are completely different, right? Val, again, is a personal thing. Mikko is also a personal thing, but a little bit more it tugs on the heart chords of the Avalanche fan quite a bit more. And here's where I don't get this. We got a couple of texts coming in on the text line about, like, Val cost the Avalanche a championship.
I heard that earlier.
Like,
it drove
Seattle,
me nuts.
Val Nichushkin, I understand how great he was in that Stanley Cup season, but when you have Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar, what are the excuses here? And the thing, let's look at this year in a microcosm. I'm willing to give Cale Makar a little bit of a pass. Got another good text here. Miko equals Arenado.
Oh, I like that.
That's an interesting one. That's a fair comp, I think. But the point I'm trying to make here is, like, Val was not very, no one was good in that series against Vegas. I give Cale a little bit of a pass because he was banged up. Nathan McKinnon, a guy that we're talking about as a top 3 player in hockey. I mean, just an absolute no-show offensively for this Avalanche team. And it wasn't just him, right? Like, I think it's a lot more than one player in Val Nichushkin. I'd put a lot more blame on the McKinnons of the world for what happened this year. Like, I don't subscribe to that, because to me, Val Nichushkin was always a complimentary piece. Again, he's a part of your core, but he's not part of the inner circle of Makar, McKinnon, Landeskog, and honestly, I'm not sure if I'm putting him in there yet as Marty Necas. Like, Marty Necas is a better player than Val Nichushkin. You would think you should get more out of Marty Necas than you should get out of Val Nichushkin.
Oh, 100%. And I don't know if the text is referring to the 2023 year when they lost to Seattle, but to me, it's really hard to argue that Val cost them a cup that year. They lost in the first round, right, to the Kraken?
Yes.
Yeah, we're talking about a first-round exit, and it's like, oh, if Val didn't get in trouble, we definitely would have gone on to win the cup. That to me is just absolute bogus. If you're counting the difference between losing in the first round and winning the Stanley Cup, and you're going to blame it on Val Nichushkin missing, I think, a game or two at the end of that series, I think you're a little delusional when you're talking about who the Avalanche were.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. We got another text. No one is as greedy as Arenado from the 7615. I think I don't know if it was a greed-fueled thing with Arenado, maybe greed with respect to wanting to win and contend for a World Series. There was some personal stuff, at least from what I've come to gather a little bit or understand, between, like, him in the front office and Dick Montfort, and, like, there was, like, irreparable damage, it appeared, between player, front office, and organization. So I think that, on top of the Rockies just becoming uncompetitive overnight after stringing together 2 consecutive postseason appearances, fueled Arenado to leave. You know what's going to be interesting? You think Arenado's a Hall of Fame player?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Who does he go in as?
Oh.
Because his best years are with the Rockies.
He might have a Rockies cap on.
He had a couple of good seasons at the start with Arizona, or with St. Louis. He's with Arizona now. He's not going in as a D-back. He'll be there for maybe a cup of coffee. But you would, when you think of Nolan Arenado, I think Rockies. And I know we're obviously biased sitting here.
I mean, that's where he won his gold. I mean, he still has won, I believe, gold gloves in St. Louis as well, but that's where he won the first, I think, 11 gold gloves in his career, something like that. Or I guess, I don't know if he was a Rocky for 11 years, so I might be getting my numbers confused there. But yeah, that's where he won a majority of his gold gloves. That's where he won a majority of his personal awards, and that's going to be, and honestly, that's where he had a lot of his stats, too, in terms of hitting.
His best years, his most iconic moments. You think about the Father's Day walk-off home run for the cycle, I believe, is what it was. Like, in that powder blue Rockies script across the chest, bleeding down the eye. Like, Nolan Arenado's best years were with the Rockies. Now, you want to talk about another guy, like talking about Nathan McKinnon, a guy that would go absolutely silent in the playoffs, was Nolan Arenado. And I was a Nolan Arenado stan. Like, probably the best baseball player that I had the chance to kind of just see up close and personal of, like, wow factor. Like, watching him play third base was an absolute treat in his prime. Watching him hit at Coors Field was an absolute treat as well. But there's another example of, like, disgruntled player that broke the hearts of the local fan base. But just kind of a tangent here. Like, I would think Arenado goes in as a Rocky.
Oh, I would too. I think he'll
Unless
have a Rockies
he's that
cap.
petty and wants to go in capless.
Is that an option? Do people do that?
I believe it is.
Okay.
I think you just go in with a plaque. I mean, St. Louis would be crazy.
Yes, I would agree. I think if they're making him pick one, it should be Colorado.
Yeah, and what's the old saying? Time heals all wounds.
Yeah, something
right?
like that.
Man, those Rockies teams were awesome, man. Arenado's story, Blackman, Dahl, good rotation, young Herman Marquez, Antonio Senzatella, who's still with the team, Freeland. Most fun I've ever had in my career was covering that 17 and 18 Rocky squad. Me and Jake Shapiro, before we started working together here, like, Just the best. But we're also both baseball guys. I know you're a baseball guy too. Yeah, just kind of a side note there on Nolan Arenado. Just to bring it back to the Avalanche for just a moment, man. Like, it's also not hilarious, but people still get so worked up over Mikko Rantanen. They really, really do. I mean, they feel burned. And JD's the one that sparked this conversation with the text. And I think just our conversation and the text line's reaction to this alone, there's no doubt that Val Nichushkin will be more fondly remembered with the Avalanche than Mikko Rantanen. Like, that's not even a question to me at this point. Like, I'm actually almost to the point now where I think when the Avalanche fan 10 years from now hears the name Mikko Rantanen, they'll think about him demanding out and ending up in Dallas than him winning a Stanley Cup. That's how bad I think it is.
I would agree with that, and they're going to think of the 25 playoff series when Dallas obviously outed the Colorado Avalanche there. I think that's going to come to mind, and he has he just signed a huge mega deal in Dallas, so he's going to be there for a very long time too. I expect him to have playoff moments in Dallas going forward here, so I think there's a chance that most of the country recognizes Mikko Rantanen as a Dallas star at the end of his career over an Avalanche.
Could have had a second Stanley Cup if he stayed with Carolina. You know, I saw a picture floating around on social media of like a Rantanen Hurricanes jersey just like on the pavement to be like run over by the parade.
I love those awkward jerseys like that for guys that I think Carmelo was a Hawk technically for a little bit.
Oh my gosh, I think you're right.
So yeah, anyone with a Carmelo Anthony Hawks jersey out there, that's one of my favorite jerseys to exist.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. You know, and Carmelo Anthony's legacy is like evaporating by the day. Doesn't have his nickname anymore. Doesn't have his jersey number in Denver. A lot of bad stuff for Carmelo Anthony. Someone brings up on the Rockies conversation, how are you going to forget DJ and Story on that team? I believe I said Trevor Story and of course DJ LeMahieu. That I believe, and I don't want to speak on this with like full authority, but I remember hearing after kind of the demise of Nolan Arenado and the Rockies that like choosing to not re-sign DJ LeMahieu, who ended up with the Yankees, and bringing in Daniel Murphy, like that I believe rubbed Nolan the wrong way. Like that was one thing you can put. Like Nolan is a very I don't know if emotional is passionate, very, very passionate, right? And like he's kind of like that Band of Brothers fraternity type of guy where it's like I think there was a close bond, man. I mean, like I've been in Broncos locker rooms after playoff wins. I've been in Nuggets locker rooms after finals wins. I'm not even kidding you. The most hyped locker room or post-game environment that I've been in, outside of the run the Rockies were in the playoffs and clinched a playoff spot, like regular season Rockies clubhouse back then when it was Cargo and Gerardo Parra and Chuck and Story and LeMahieu. Like, I mean, it was an absolute scene back then. Gerardo Parra rocking around with the huge boombox. I mean, it was like a freaking club out there. Like, it was, what a time.
It's the boys being the boys.
Yeah, what a time. I mean, that's a baseball thing too. Yeah, fond memories. I yearn for the day that the Rockies find themselves relevant again. And I think they're slowly working their way back there. I think this year's been a pleasant surprise. I know Jake Shapiro begs to differ, but I'm satisfied with what I've seen from the Rockies this year. It's about on par for my expectation. But let us know your thoughts here on the RonMosley.com text line 303-713-1043 about Val Nichushkin's departure, his legacy with the Colorado Avalanche, and if you want to mix in some Mikko Rantanen, feel free because the text line is humming about that. When we come back, though, let's pivot to the hardwood. The NBA draft has come and gone. The Nuggets select 2 players last night in the second round of the NBA draft. Will they have any role or future with this team? Dante and I will talk about that next.
Is Denver's grip on Davis Webb stronger than anyone wants to believe?
So he's so appreciative of the opportunity and understands what a great opportunity is, and also what a great opportunity is to work under Sean for multiple years. He is not going to go coach at some franchise or some organization where you've got no chance to win. He's not going to do it.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Guys, are you looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get Advanced Hair's breakthrough one-day treatment during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during Advanced Hair's best offer ever. For details and a free consultation, call 720-459-HAIR or at advancedhair.com. Hey,
what's going on, guys? Rob Biadino here at BeatTheDA.com. My law firm's doing a ton of divorce cases these days, and the bottom line is I see a lot of controlling spouses. They try to control and threaten you with calling the police. They threaten you with taking the kids. But the worst ones are to control the money. The ones who control the money, we got to get to the bottom of. We got the investigators, we got the forensic guys, we got the experts, the bank guys that can go find and track whatever's hidden. At the end of the day, hit me up at BeatTheDA.com or 720-706-5151.
It's hot out there. Stoke here from my team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Are you ready for one of the hottest summers we've ever seen? It might be time to cut your air conditioner and draft a new high-performing air conditioning system that will keep you and your home cool and comfortable. There are amazing financing options and incredible rebates too, only from the best ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
You can't always predict what's next, but you can be ready for it in a BMW SUV. The performance-driven X1 comes built for every journey, while the X3's sporty design and innovative technology keep your drive connected. The X5 blends performance with a commanding presence, or make it even bigger with 3 rows of luxurious seating in the X7. For every road, there's an X built to drive it. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Gebhardt BMW, your trusted family dealer since 1975.
2026 is shaping up to be an amazing year to buy a home in Colorado. If you've been dreaming about getting into your first place, upgrading for more space, or downsizing for a simpler lifestyle, now is a smart time to start planning. And the first step is easy. Get pre-approved. With American Financing, you can get it done in 24 hours or less, so you'll know exactly what you can afford before you start shopping. Rates have been dropping, home prices are steady, and more homes are hitting the market. You could score the right home at the right price and lock in a monthly payment that fits your budget without stretching yourself thin. And unlike renting, every payment you make goes toward your future, not your landlord's. And here's a misconception that they love to bust. You don't need 20% down. Many buyers purchase with as little as 3% down. So if home ownership is on your 2026 goals list, make it happen. Call American Financing, 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Colorado, it's time to take our recycling to the next level. That's why Recycle-On Colorado is bringing you more curbside and drop-off service from peaks to prairies. Guidelines as clear as our skies, so you know what goes where. And the price? As free as gawking at bighorns on I-70. You deserve a recycling system you can count on, like your puffiest winter coat. And we're here to give it to you. Learn more at recycleon.org/Colorado.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more. Getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
There's a difference between the cameras you buy at Home Depot and the cameras Vantage installs. Consumer cameras give you a grainy silhouette. Vantage cameras can read a license plate at the end of your driveway with full color night vision, 24/7 recording, and no monthly subscription fees, so you never miss a thing. Invest in real security for your home. Schedule a free Vantage Threat Zone Analysis report for your property. Call Vantage at 720-366-7759 or visit VSSIColorado.com today.
It's Denver Sports Tonight on Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan.
Oh, it's too groovy not to let that one ride for a little bit. Welcome on back in to the program. It is Denver Sports Tonight, 104.3 The Fan. I'm Anilo Piro. We got Dante Gomez hanging out with us as well. You can follow me on social at Media by AP. Make sure to check us out on social as well, Denver Sports 104.3. And the website, DenverSports.com. All right, good conversation to open up the show about Val Nichushkin, which kind of spilled into some Mikko stuff and legacy conversation. But I think it's all fair, right, for Nichushkin and all that kind of stuff. And, again, you'll always remember what he meant to this organization when it came to winning that Stanley Cup, which now seems not like a lifetime ago, but it wasn't exactly last year or yesterday, right? It's been a while now that the dust has settled on that Stanley Cup championship for the Avalanche, just like that Nuggets championship started to get a little dusty. And look, this is a big offseason. We'll end the show talking LaMelo and Giannis because I think those are two seismic moves. Obviously, the LaMelo move impacts the Nuggets a little bit more directly. So curious to get your thoughts on that. But last night was the second round of the NBA draft. And the Nuggets, after trading out of the number 26 pick, end up picking at number 35 and number 49. At number 35, they pick up Trevin Brazile, a forward from Arkansas. And at number 49, they pick up Bryce Hopkins, also a forward. He from St. John's, And, one of the first takeaways for me, just being a little bit more of a casual college basketball fan, is two players drafted from two programs that have notorious head coaches in John Calipari and Rick Pitino. So, obviously high character guys you would think, because I don't think they put up with this, specifically Pitino, right? But you're talking about two high profile coaches, two 23-year-old kids. So they're drafting experienced guys as far as the collegiate ranks are concerned, and both forwards, which doesn't surprise me all that much. Look, I don't know what the future is going to be for either of these guys with the Denver Nuggets. At least from some conversations that I've had, it seems like Trevin Brazile has a more likely path to being a true role player for the Nuggets in his rookie season, and Bryce Hopkins might be a two-way guy. These guys might both be two-way guys when it's all said and done. But just Dante, curious to get your initial thoughts on both of these picks, but also if you want to lump in your thoughts about Denver passing on drafting a kid in the first round, because I've definitely got some thoughts on that too.
Yeah, I do as well. And I would have loved for them to pick at 26 not yesterday, I guess 2 days ago now in the first round. I think there's two really good prospects there. Terrace Reed out of UConn, who ended up getting picked number 26, but goes to San Antonio in that trade.
He's a big, though.
He's a big. Yeah.
They don't need a big.
The Nuggets?
I mean, like a backup big, but I think you'd rather draft a point guard or a forward over a big.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I would have taken him, or the other guy I liked was Kobe, big forward.
Can't shoot.
Aaron Gordon couldn't shoot when he got drafted either.
Have you seen Aaron? But
real quick. The Nuggets, they're all good. They don't need rim protection. They don't need physicality. They don't need youth on their team. They're all set there. All those boxes are checked for you.
No, they certainly need that.
All right, well, both those guys, they just said check those boxes for the Nuggets.
Okay, but they also need shooting, because they have a $125 million guy in Christian Brown and another guy who's about to get a bag in Payton Watson, who's not known for their shooting.
I would say the Nuggets' offense was just fine last year. I'm not too concerned about their offensive prowess. I'm concerned about their defense and how badly it got exposed against the Minnesota Timberwolves in that series last year. Almost embarrassingly so, how bad that defense was. Jaden McDaniels calling them out by names. Blank, bad defender. Blank, bad defender.
Crazy.
Blank, bad defender. To me, that should be priority number one. I don't really care about the shooting right now. The guys that the Nuggets got aren't great shooters either. So if that's your argument, you shouldn't be happy with these guys either. I think the defensive versatility that they could have got at pick 26 would have been greatly improved, depending on if they wanted to go with either of those guys. I think both of those guys can be starters in this league. I'm not so sure either of these guys are ever going to be a starter in the NBA. So the ceiling I liked a lot more for Reed or Pete. These guys aren't exactly NBA players. I'm just going to say it that way. I wouldn't be surprised if either of these, or if both of these guys are not in the league in a couple years here. I think Brazile has a chance to make an impact, being that high flyer, and he does get some blocks as well. But on the drive, Phil was kind of pitching it as, he's a developmental guy. No, neither of these guys are developmental guys either. They're 23 years old. They're old. They are who they're going to be. They're Trevin Brazile here. He's as old as Payton Watson is. Payton Watson's been in the league for a handful of years here. So I would say low ceiling guys out of these two, and I'm not sure either of them ends up making that much of an impact.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Trevor Brazile has some. I know there was questions about his motor. That was one of the knocks on him coming out of Arkansas. But I do think with his size, like kind of that dunker spot, right, offensively, I think he can also bring it defensively a little bit. And one
real
thing,
quick on the motor thing, I just want to add this on. I think the motor is going to look a lot better when he's only playing a handful of minutes every game. It's not like he's playing 36 minutes and the motor is going to be exposed. If you're only out there for 3 to 10 minutes, your motor should be pretty good.
And so here's why I'm actually okay with them passing on a first-round pick. Because, one, they needed to recoup some assets. They still have an additional second-round pick from San Antonio. There's also the financial aspect of what you have to pay a rookie drafted in the first round versus the second round. And we also know where Denver's up against that second apron, and that kind of factors into it too. But the Nuggets have not shown a proven ability to draft someone in the first round and have them develop immediately. Like, I guess the two most recent examples would be Christian Brown and Bones Highland to a certain extent before they traded him for different reasons, of course. But look at where Payton Watson is now. It's taken him 3 years to get to this point. And so I'm not sure if there's a player they could have drafted at 26 that would have come in. Like, let's just say it's Koa Pete, for example. I think it's a nice player to have for the future to develop, but I the Nuggets have to be in win now mode. And what that kind of comes with is preserving your draft capital, gaining draft capital, and preserving your finances, which is why I didn't think there was a surefire guy they should have drafted at 26. I think the two guys that you listed, you can make an argument for, but I'm not sitting here and saying they pass on an OG Anunoby. That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, I don't know. I think either of these guys can, like I said, be starters in the NBA and be high-impact players. I mean, a year ago in the offseason, Koa Pete was a McDonald's All-American, and he's a physical freak. He welcomes the physicality on the basketball court as well. And, again, the Nuggets need help as far as athleticism goes, as far as rim protection goes, as far as physicality goes. And Koa Pete, again, checks all of those boxes. And maybe he's not a three-point shooter yet, but you can develop the three-point shooter. That's the one thing that you can actually develop as an athlete in the NBA. We've seen many guys get better at shooting as their career goes on. So I would have liked to see them take a chance on either of those guys. And maybe in year one, they're playing 5 to 10 minutes, but by the time it's year 3, they are that rotational 20-minute guy, like I think either of those guys can be.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I could see it both ways. I really could. Like, I'm not upset that they traded out the pick. I'm not frustrated that they ended up doing what they ended up doing. Ultimately, we'll see what the rest of this offseason holds. I do want to read this tweet. This has been, if you guys are on Twitter, we all probably follow the same people when it comes to Nuggets Twitter and Nuggets news and information. This coming from Brett Siegel, NBA, who's been solid trade value. If LaMelo Ball is going for not trade value, if LaMelo Ball is going for Naz Reid in a first, essentially, like, what are you getting for Jamal? Like, what are you getting for Aaron Gordon? A couple second-round picks at this point?
Oh, that's a great question.
Like, because that's the other thing is let me say this about the Nuggets, too. Look, I am open to the idea of trading Aaron Gordon. I think Christian Brown, if you can get off Christian Brown, and look, I don't think Christian Brown's going to be any worse than he was last year, but the contract is just abysmal. But I hate to admit, as someone that's been critical of the Nuggets, I think their best path to being competitive for a championship. I'm not saying win it, because I don't think they can win it right now. But competing for a championship is running it back. Because I don't think what you're getting value-wise for Jamal or Aaron Gordon or anything like that's going to make you better. Sure, it provides you with flexibility, but when you've got Jokic who's, 31 years old, you have to kind of, you're all in essentially for the most part right now, on top of the Payton Watson extension.
Well, if you're talking about running it back, then why wouldn't you want to get a guy on a first-round draft pick salary? At that point, it makes even more sense to get someone that can step in here and make a bigger impact than the two guys they drafted.
I think that has to do with the Payton Watson extension that's coming and being locked into a guaranteed contract, right? Because you're going to be able to be a bit more flexible with these guys in the second round now. That's what I think it has. I think there's more, again, I hate to use the word because it's the team war, but there's more flexibility with drafting guys in the second round.
Yeah, there's more flexibility, and they're probably worse talent and lesser than prospects, or else they would have gone in the first round. You can't convince me that drafting a guy later is going to help you more than drafting a guy earlier in the draft.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I do. I just don't think any of these, like, do you want another Deron Holmes on your hand? They have a first-round pick they haven't even been able to develop yet. Do you want a second one clogged up in the forward position?
No, I mean, not necessarily, but just because a couple of guys didn't develop doesn't mean you just stop taking first-round picks altogether. It's not like any of at some point, draft picks are going to hit. OG Anunoby, late guy. Jalen Brunson, second-round draft pick. Like, these guys do hit, and if anything, they're hitting more frequently now than they ever have with just the NIL, guys staying in college a little bit longer. They're not coming in as freshmen. You can get a guy that comes in as a sophomore, junior, and is a little bit more developed. The skill level and the talent of basketball has never been higher, so there's great basketball players out there everywhere. You just got to be able to find them and develop them.
I believe this is how Jake laid it out to me as well, which is just some food for thought. I believe the equivalent of a salary for a first-round draft pick this year is the equivalent of a vet minimum contract in the NBA. So you look at it as by passing in someone in the first round of the NBA draft, that affords you to sign another Tim Hardaway Jr. type, right? Like someone who's proven and more experienced that can come in here and make an immediate impact. And I don't know if Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to be back. I don't know if Bruce Brown's going to be back. But that's some food for thought, too, is like, would you rather, if you have the choice between established veteran who's on the back nine of his career or young, unproven rookie, unfortunately, I think the direction you want to go is the established veteran on the back nine of his career, just where you're at roster complexion-wise. But the fact of the matter is here, whether they draft someone in the first round or not, they're stuck in purgatory. Like, that's where this Nuggets team is. They are stuck. And ultimately, we'll see what happens with Payton Watson. I think signing Payton Watson to an extension is big for the future of the team. I don't think it makes much of a difference for them this upcoming season. That's where I'm at.
Really? You don't think Payton Watson on the roster helps this team go further?
Long term? I mean, I know we didn't play in the playoffs. I think if Payton Watson plays in the playoffs, they probably still lose that series. I think the result is the same.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I guess it's hard to say either way. And you're talking about first-round draft pick being the equivalent.
They won, what, 53 games? Like, how much better could you be in the regular season?
I mean, 53 games isn't that much. They were 9 games ahead of the play-in tournament.
53 games, I believe, is what they won in the championship season, too, when they were the 1 seed. Like, 53 games is not anything to sneeze at, Dante.
It's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad, but...
Like, not everyone's a 72 Warriors out here.
No, I get that, but were they even within 10 games of being in first in the conference?
Yeah, but that's because OKC started
they were 10 games
31-2. You remember that?
And then they were 8 games out of second place. It's not like they were as far out of second place as they were the play-in tournament.
That's fair. But I think that's just kind of who they are right now. Like I
just a middling team?
They're just a mid-team. That's exactly what they are. All right, let us know your thoughts. RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043. Real quick, we got a giveaway to do for you guys. Listen up. If you want to win a 4-pack of tickets to the World Rugby Nations Cup at Dick's Sporting Goods Park on Saturday, July the 4th, call the number. You know what it is. Be caller numero dos. Caller number 2, you'll win yourself a 4-pack of tickets to the rugby event going on out there at Dick's Sporting Goods Park on the 4th of July. Great way to spend the holiday. Caller number 2. Hit up Dante. He'll get you through. And away we go. All right, let's hit a quick break. When we come back, we'll put a bow on the show. Couple of seismic trades in the NBA over the last few days. Giannis to Miami, LaMelo Ball to Minnesota. What does it mean for the Nuggets? That's next.
You asked for it, you got it. Backed by popular demand, it's the Drives Brouhaha.
Big social brouhaha.
This summer, Zach and Phil are back on the road bringing their party to you. Last stop, Arvada. June 26th from 2 to 6 at Arvada Beer Garden.
That was quite a brouhaha.
Come find out what the commotion's all about. Head to DenverSports.com/drive for more details.
Guaranteed to bring the brouhaha.
Denver Sports 1043. The Fan.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, One day, Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-572-3344. That's 800-572-3344.
Most home sellers get one offer. It's somewhere between lowball and not good enough. Orchard changes that. With Orchard's new Orchard offers, you don't just get one offer. You get multiple cash offers from serious investors all competing for your home. That's right. Make investors compete with Orchard's cash offer marketplace. Here's how it works. You work with an Orchard agent who submits your home to their exclusive network of hundreds of local cash buyers. They come to you with offers. You review them all and pick the best one on your terms. So you don't have to settle on one offer or worry about leaving money on the table. You see every offer side by side. That's how you know you're getting top dollar. Orchard offers means no repairs, no showings, no drawn-out process. Before you accept any offer, see them all first. Get a free home valuation and see your offers today with Orchard Offers. Go to Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
8 seconds. Man versus beast. Every second counts. The PRCA's Extreme Bulls Tour explodes into the legendary arena for 2 nights only. July 20th and 21st. Tickets on sale now at CFDrodeo.com.
Hey, it's Glenn.
And Tiffany.
Here with Denver Roof Pros. Denver Roof Pros is celebrating our 10th anniversary, serving the Front Range from Fort Collins to Colorado Springs.
Yes, we are. And there is so much more to Denver Roof Pros. We're not just roofs and gutters. Check out our family of services at DenverRoofPros.com.
No matter if it hails, rains, or snows, nobody knows your roof like the Denver Roof Pros.
And I'm Dylan Williams. You'll find all your Takori jewelry at Williams Jewelers of Inglewood, along with one of the largest selections of certified loose diamonds in the state, all at the guaranteed best price.
So come, fall in love with the Takori ring she's always dreamed of.
Takori at Williams Jewelers of Inglewood,
Colorado's premier jeweler.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers of Inglewood, where Colorado shines. On the corner of Bellevue and Broadway, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
Want real Broncos talk? Cecil Lammy and Andrew Mason bring the heat on Orange and Blue Today. The most passionate intelligence and in-depth Broncos coverage in the game. Weekdays at 5 p.m. on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Hit subscribe at Denver Sports 104.3 and never miss another take. Orange and Blue Today, powered by Ramos Law, official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan presents Denver Sports Tonight.
All right, winding down here on the program, Denver Sports Tonight, Anilo Piro, Dante Gomez. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. If you want to keep the conversation going, you can hit me up on social at Media by AP. We'll see what the Nuggets end up doing this offseason. Is Payton Watson back? Is anyone out the door? I mean, if they're going to bring Payton Watson back, they're going to trade somebody. The question is, who might that be? We shall see as free agency is on the doorstep here. I believe that starts up, next week? So we'll see what that has in store for us here with the Denver Nuggets. But we already know 2 trades that have gone down or are in the process of going down to be formalized once the window opens up. Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Milwaukee Bucks to the Miami Heat. It's a fine move to me, honestly. Let me ask you this. Jake and I debated this. Is Giannis a top 5 player in the NBA right now?
Ooh. Probably just outside.
That's where I had him in that 5 to 7, 8 range.
Yeah.
And Jake said he's
right.
top 5.
I mean, unequivocally, I'm taking Actually, I don't know if there's any unequivocals. It's such a mix mash up there. I was talking to maybe Cello on Tuesday or Will last night. I can't remember exactly. But they were asking who is the best player in the world right now, and I said that title right now is empty. No one's sitting in that throne at the moment.
I think there's 3 players you make the argument for, and it's Wemby, SGA, and Jokic.
Same.
Those are my 3.
It's kind of Game of Thronesy right now, where they're all jockeying for the throne, but no one's quite sitting on the chair yet.
Yeah, those are also the 3 I'd put unequivocally above Giannis right now. I'd also, the ones that threw Jake for a whirl, I think I'm probably putting Luka ahead of him.
It's tough to say because we haven't seen a healthy Giannis in like a year or 2 now, and that whole situation got a little weird last year where he wanted to play and the team didn't want him to play. Right. So I assume he's healthy at this point. I think we're going to see a really good version of him. I'll put it this way. I think this is how I'm going to answer the question. At the end of next year, we will say Giannis is the top 5 player.
Okay, I like that. And I like the move for Miami ultimately. I mean, you have him and Bam Adebayo down low. That's going to be a fearsome duo down there in Miami. But I think the more compelling move, because Giannis in Miami was always interested in Giannis for like 3 years. It seemed like it almost felt like a formality that he ended up in Miami at some point. The one that I did not see coming was the one that broke this morning. I woke up and saw the news. LaMelo Ball to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and that's a big move, right? Minnesota gets off Julius Randle. They're planning to extend Ayo DeSomo as well. They've still got Jaden McDaniels and Rudy Gobert alongside Ant-Man. I mean, that's a big, big move. And the one take that I've seen floating around social media, I think my guy Troy Rank was the first one that put it up, is there was a thought from a few years ago that Minnesota and Tim Connelly built his Timberwolves team to beat the Denver Nuggets. That is no longer the case. Minnesota has moved away from that and is now trying to compete or maybe even carve their own path out when it comes to the Western Conference landscape. I mean, a backcourt of LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, that is something, Dante.
Yeah, that's going to be fun to watch, and I'm really excited to see Anthony Edwards off the ball. I think he's an absolutely incredible talent. Denver here, we've seen it up close a couple times in the playoffs. Missed a little bit of the playoff series last year, but I think him off the ball is going to be incredibly dangerous. I'm excited to see that team, and just that culture in Minnesota is so strong, and I think they'll be able to absorb LaMelo into that culture.
Well, Minnesota's making moves. The
Do you have Minnesota ahead of the Nuggets right now in terms of who would win in a playoff series?
How could you not? I think I'd have to pick Minnesota straight up in a playoff series right now. No doubt. No doubt. I don't know how much backbone this Nuggets team has, and ultimately we'll see if they gut the roster a little bit and do some stuff here and there. But, yeah, I think the LaMelo one, and I know LaMelo's an interesting player, right? But talk about that passing ability, that three-point shot ability. Pair that with Anthony Edwards. You still have Rudy Gobert down low. It's an interesting move for Minnesota, and the Nuggets find themselves asleep at the wheel. All right, for Dante Gomez, I'm Anila Piro. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. DST on the Fan. Happy Friday, folks.
The